everybody for joining us on short notice. We'll start it off with an opening statement, and then I'll open it up for questions.
Good afternoon. This morning, head football coach Mark Richt called me to inform me that he was stepping down as our head coach effective immediately. While Mark and I had spoken at length yesterday afternoon and into the evening, I was surprised by his decision this morning. The details of our conversation will remain between us, but it was clear to me that Mark was struggling with the decision. Ultimately, as Mark shared in his letter earlier today, he believes that it is in the best interest of the U, a place that he so dearly loves, to retire. Should Mark choose to share more insight into his decision, I'll defer to him. Because our players are spread around the country at home over the holidays, both Mark and I informed them via text message and email messages, and while not ideal, we had no choice due to the timing of Mark's decision. I will meet with the team upon their return to campus in a few weeks. Let me provide a few insights into a few items. The decision for Mark to retire is his and his alone. While my tweet after our bowl game noted our performance was unacceptable, I also tweeted that Mark and I were committed to fixing it, and those discussions had already begun. At no time did I or anyone at Miami ask for or suggest that Mark step down. He truly made the decision based on his love of the U, his family, and his desire to move forward and write the next chapter of his life in retirement. The U has been a part of Mark's life for many years as a player, fan, and coach, and I know that he and Catherine gave their all when they returned to Coral Gables 3 years ago. We are proud of the many accomplishments of his teams, our top 10 rankings, our graduates, and the restoring of excitement to Canes football. Mark will always be held in high regard by the Miami family, and I know that he and Catherine will always be there for us. He is a great football coach, but an even better person, and we're all better for having him on our side. We will begin a national search for a new head coach today. We will work quickly but comprehensively to identify the right fit for Miami. I am confident there will be a great deal of interest in our program as our fan support, tradition, facilities, recruiting base, conference affiliation, and world-class university all make this an attractive job. I know there will be much speculation and rumors and innuendos about candidates and the process, but I encourage everyone to be patient and to not believe everything they read. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have, but I will not address specific questions about any potential candidates. So with that said, happy to take any questions.
Will this be the traditional search where you go hire a search firm and you can go through a week, 2-week process like that, or will you try to move quicker than that?
We're going to try to move as quick as possible. I don't know that there is a traditional search. I think it varies from search to search. What I'll say is we're committed to getting the best person for the University of Miami football program as quick as possible.
Had you told Mark, had you suggested any changes that you wanted to see implemented over the last several days?
Yeah, Mark and I met yesterday afternoon. I don't think it's a secret to anyone here that follows our program that offensively we hadn't operated at the level that I think any one of us would want, including Mark. And we talked about what we needed to look at and what we needed to do different.
Did you get any sense in that conversation that there would be resistance to anything that you were suggesting?
No, Mark's a very smart guy and understands the game and recognized that things had to change on the offensive side of the ball.
Was there any point throughout the season where you got the sense that maybe Rick's heart wasn't in anymore and this was slowly building up and coming?
No, I wouldn't say that. Obviously, I think, and Mark was public about it, the 4-game losing streak, I think, and you guys can check the quote, but I think it said it was one of the hardest times in his football career. And obviously, any time you go through something like that, when he's been in as long as he has, I think that probably wore on him, but that's probably a better question for him. But, I know he likes to win. Mark has always won, and I know that was a tough time for him.
How bad of a time period is this, considering the period right around the corner and with the exit of ABS?
Well, again, I think the good news is we're in a dead period. The reality is we have a number of weeks before the signing period in February, and so I don't think there's ever a good time. Obviously, as I said, we need to move quickly. We need to get a new head coach in place and have them have a staff ready to go that we can continue to add on to the number of young men that have already committed to our program in the early signing period.
You just signed a bunch of guys. Have any of those signees asked to be released, or is it any?
At this point, Tim, everything's been a whirlwind this morning. I'm not sure that I could even answer that question.
Will there be any push for whoever the next coach is? Will there be any stipulation as far as, hey, we like what happened on the defensive side of the ball, we want to keep those guys intact, or will the next coach have free reign to
Well, I think anytime you bring a coach in, you want them to hire their staff. Obviously, I'll be quick to point out we're one of the best defenses, I'll argue the best defense in the country, and there's a lot of great things going on that side of the ball, and we have a lot of great football players on both sides of the ball, and so I'm sure whoever the next head coach is will identify the right people they need to achieve at the level that we all expect Miami Hurricane football to be at, and beyond that, those decisions will really be made by that person.
When you met with Mark yesterday, did you have any indication what was going to happen, what was coming today?
You know, I'll say I was surprised, you know, based on our conversation. But you know, again, I know, as I said in my opening statement, I know Mark was, you know, really struggling with things. And when we spoke this morning, this is what he feels is best for him and his family. He wants nothing but the very best for our program, and so well surprised at his decision. You know, there's a lot that was going on.
As you look for the next head coach, how important is longevity? Really, the last 3 head coaches here didn't last very long. So how do you convince a coach to stay here, and how important is that going to be in your search?
I think to me, success is the most important thing. Obviously, I'd love to have a successful coach that stays a long time, but I think we all want to see Miami football back at the top. And you know, you look at some of our coaches through history, their longevity might not have been what ideally we would have all wanted, but the success that they brought to the program and the notoriety that they brought to the program, and really who we are today, were some coaches that weren't here as long as maybe some coaches are nationally at spots, but they elevated our program to the highest levels. And so my job is to find the person who can elevate to the highest level, and then I'm going to do all I can to keep them here as long as we can.
Blake, with that being said, how much of a premium was put on finding a head coach who has ties to the success of this program in years past?
I don't think there's a premium to that. What there's a premium on is getting the best person for the job and a person who can elevate us to the highest level. And what I'm going to do is look for whoever I believe is that person that can take Miami football to where it's been in the past and where I'm confident it's going to be again in the future. We need to be in Charlotte competing for ACC championships, and I want to see us in the playoffs, the college football playoffs in the future. And again, I think we have the talent pool in the state of Florida. I think we have the resources within our athletic program, and we have, I'll say, the greatest university in the country, and all those things will bode well for us as we find that next leader.
There was such a groundswell of negativity out there in the social media world about play calling, quarterback position, quarterback coach, Mark's son. Did you discuss John's future at all with him? And did you request changes made at the coaching of that position specifically?
Again, Tim, I'm not going to get into specifics. As I said in my opening statement, primarily the specifics of Mark and my conversation will remain between us. I guess what I would say in this room is, again, it's no secret, we had to figure out how to get better on offense. And I think there's some obvious things that we needed to do on that front. And Mark and I spoke in great detail about what we could do to better our position offensively in the future.
Do you know what he told his staff about?
He told his staff earlier this morning.
Do you believe any of that negativity and that backlash and the fights going on social media got to Mark or had any impact on this decision?
Honestly, that's really a question for Mark. I don't know. Again, does he like losing? No. Again, he was public that was one of the hardest times in his career when we had that 4-game losing streak, and so I know that's out there. Mark did what he felt was best for the program, and again, through our conversations yesterday and in today, he loves this university and wants to see this program succeed at the very highest level, and his decision was based on what he felt was needed for this program to succeed on the highest level.
Was there any, and during that conversation this morning, was there any coaching on your behalf where you were trying to tell him to maybe take his time, think about this a little more in depth, and then come back to you with it?
Yeah, again, I think Mark's a great head coach. He has a proven track record of being a great head coach. Again, is no secret. We needed to figure out what to do different on the offensive side of the ball. But I talked with him about all those things and what we could do and why I felt the things that he should do, and that was all part of the conversation.
Will he still be a part of this program, or even part of the coaching search?
Mark's part of the family. He'll always be part of the program. He wore the uniform. He coached here. He's always going to be a part of the University of Miami family, and I hope we have been able to sell him on what a great place this is, and that he and Catherine continue to stay here in our community and are around our program.
I know you mentioned obviously the success is the most important thing here, but are you concerned that your terms of just, there's been so many changes in this program in the last.
No, and again, I think anytime you have someone carry the baton, they want to put it into a better spot, and we're in a better spot as a program than we were when Mark got here. And again, you look at if you just look at facilities alone, the addition of the indoor facility that was so generously provided by so many, obviously the league gift from the Sofer family. You look at the improvements that have been made to Hard Rock Stadium and the game day atmosphere that we have in there, which you can put up against any school in the country. And so you want the program to be in a better spot than what it was when you go out to look for the next leader. And credit to Mark. He elevated who we are as a program, and now my job is to find that person to grab that baton and carry it to the next level.
So are you going to hire a search firm, or is it going to be?
This all happened so fast. Gary, we've been trying to make sure we're doing the right things by the kids and getting the message out to them with our donors, our board of trustees, in communication with campus leadership, just really getting my hands around everything. Again, my commitment is to getting the best person here as quick as possible.
What reaction did you have to Travis Homer's decision to leave? And do you have any idea what
I-
NFL eligible strikes?
I didn't even have any idea that. So oh, he's okay. I wasn't aware of that. Was that this morning? Okay. Yeah, I've been a little busy today. I haven't been able to keep track of decisions to turn pro. If that's what Travis has decided is best for he and his family, I will do nothing but support Travis. Travis is an outstanding representative of our program. He has always done nothing but the very best for our program. And if right now is the time for him to venture into the professional football world, he'll have nothing but continued support from us in that front.
It was only a year ago this team was in the ACC championship game, ranked 2, looking like they could make a run for a national championship. Everybody's saying the U is back. Does it feel kind of now like the bottom's falling out? Where do you go from here?
Well, I think if you believe certain people, you can say the bottom's falling out. I don't believe that at all. Again, you look at the fact that we're still viewed as one of the marquee teams. We were just at a great bowl experience, I'll argue, among the very best. And what the New Era Pinstripe Bowl provided for the young men in our program, our fans, was just a great experience. The U program is looked at very positively nationally, and that's why there'll be great interest in this job, and that's why we'll be back in Charlotte competing in the ACC Championship in the future. We'll be back in Orange Bowls, and we'll continue to succeed in the highest level.
You said you're still gauging reaction from board of trustees and campus leadership. Has anyone reached out to you and said, whatever you need to get the best head coach, we'll provide that for you?
We have great support from campus leadership and from our board. Our board and our campus leadership recognizes the important role that football plays in presenting our university to the rest of the world. Again, you just to turn back the clock 1 year ago and you look at hosting game day on this campus and just the great advertisement it was for the outstanding institution and beautiful area that we're in. I think I'm blessed in that we have a very supportive board and supportive leadership that understand what a great role athletics can play in the total collegiate experience. And so I don't have any concerns on that front, that we'll get nothing but support on doing what collectively we feel is best to put our program in the best position for success in the future.
On the flip side of that, Richt had a lot of success pretty early on. As you look for a new coach, how will you value the long-term success versus short-term success? Where do you place that emphasis?
I'm not sure I understand your question.
So, Rick had success very early on, was ranked year 2. When you look for a head coach, is it someone who can win now, or what if somebody wants to come in and rebuild from the ground up?
Well, we have a great base here, and so no one's going to have to rebuild. Mark's not leaving the cupboard bare. We got a lot of great young men in our program right now. Do we need to add more? Without a doubt, and that's why we're going to have a coach in place as soon as possible, and we're going to do everything we can to get close this signing class strong in February of 19. But again, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. We want to win long term, and so if your question am I looking for someone to win 1 year but not be successful long term? No, I want someone who's going to take the baton and elevate who we are as a program. And again, when you look at what Mark did, I think 9 wins, 10 wins, and 7 wins over his last 2 years, 12-1 at home, if I remember right. He's succeeding at a high level. Now we want to find someone to take it at an even higher level.
Take 2 more questions.
Did you know that, like you said, it's a dead period. He would work theoretically from anywhere. Did you know that he exercised
Manny Diaz? I wouldn't have any comment on Manny. I guess Manny is on his own schedule.
Any more questions?
Former players are obviously always vocal around here. How much of like an influence will they have? Will you listen to feedback from some of those guys?
Well, I think I get a lot of feedback. I'm not short of getting feedback. I guess to answer your question, those guys have tremendous passion for the University of Miami. I ran into Warren Sapp last night at the Orange Bowl game, and he's wearing around a U pullover very proudly. I think it's one of the things we're blessed with as a program is once you put the U on, it never comes off. And our guys still bleed orange, green, and white to this day, regardless of how long ago they played here. With that said, everyone's going to have different opinions as to the right person is. My job is to identify who the best person is for that job, and I'm going to do that exactly. We'll get the best person for the job, and we're going to take this program forward.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you all for being here.